Hey, what's up, everyone? Jonathan Allen here at Floodwater Studios. Today, I want to do a much deeper dive into EZDrummer 3. This is what we use in the studio with our electronic drums. So let's hop into that. But real quickly, if you're new here, welcome. I have a free gift for you. Heck, if you've been here for a little bit and you've followed Floodwater along the way, still have a free gift for you as well. If you head to floodwaterstudios.com/home studio, you can pick up your free guide to your home studio equipment. Everything is laid out there in a PDF document. From even starting out from scratch, what we recommend to get started in the home studio world, to taking what you already have and expanding that, building that out. So head to floodwaterstudios.com/home studio today for your free copy of that. But let's go ahead and hop into Studio One here. And I have a blank session pulled up. This is just kind of my template session that I have just with a voiceover channel. So what we're going to do first, we're going to go to our browse window and we're going to go to Instruments. I'm going to grab EZDrummer 3, drag and drop to the blank space. It'll open the software right here for me. So EZDrummer, the last video we did, we talked about how to export the MIDI to WAV files, but before we can actually get to that aspect, we need to record something, and to do that, we need to figure out what drum sounds you actually want. So EZDrummer 3, when it loads up, this is the standard house kit, so the main kit. EZDrummer 3 has some other options as well. So it does come with the main room, the bright room, which gives a different sound and tone for things. And then it also has a tight room, which is very dampened sounds for everything. It actually sounds really great. We used this kit on one of our Christmas songs. But let's take a listen to what some of these sound like. So we have some basic drums in here. This is actually the drums from my song called After You. So they're not very crazy, very simple, kind of straightforward beat. Get a little busier going towards the end of the song. We can hop over there and listen to different clips for things too. But let's go ahead and reopen EZDrummer here, and we're just going to pop on to the main room. So this is the kind of house kit that comes with EZDrummer 3. Let's go ahead. Come on. There we go. Let's put some headphones on so we can listen to the different types of drums, how they sound for everything. So this is just the house kit. So you can hear it's a very great sounding kit, how they chose everything. Now, I believe a lot of it is Yamaha drums that they've chosen for the main room. But let's hop over to the bright room and take a listen to the difference in sound for the drums themselves. So you can hear it's definitely got more room to it. It's the bright room itself. So you can kind of even see by the picture that they've chosen to house the drums in. It was a much open, much wider, larger space that they recorded these samples in. It looks like a lot of bare walls, not a whole lot of absorption or diffusion happening, just kind of getting a lot of that room sound in there. Now, we are looking at a lot of Gresh drums for this sample set. But they don't sound bad either. It's definitely song dependent. So anything you're working on, you need to see what's going to suit that song. Obviously, we look for guitar tones and the bass tone, but drums is a huge deal when it comes to the song you're working on. So the third thing that it comes with here is the tight room. And the tight room is really interesting to me because this is a complete dead space. You can see that they have dampened the snare, they've dampened the floor tom. Let's listen to what the tight room sounds like. So, the tight room, it's exactly what it is. Everything is nice and focused and tight. There is no room sound to it. Everything is dead. You can really manipulate these in your mix. But if we get to a busier section, let's hear what that sounds like. So it's definitely a drastic difference compared to the other tones. Now, let's take that same busier part with that fill in there. Let's throw in to the bright room real quick so we can just kind of go back and forth between the different sounds. So that definitely gives it more of a rock feel, more of a rock like driving energy for things. Same thing with the bright room. It's going to give that more driving feel for everything. And you're going to be able to get larger sounds out of it. Now, the cool thing with EZDrummer 3 is, and if you've messed around with EZDrummer, I know the other video is doing fairly well. So I would assume a lot of you have EZDrummer, or you've looked into it at least to see how things work for it. But each drum is customizable for every set that you have. So let's take the hi-hat, for example. So if you click on it, now, one of the annoying things is anytime you click, it's going to play it at like 100% intensity for everything. So it's always going to be there. But it also selects it over here in the left-hand side. And if we click this, the main room gives us two different options for hi-hats. So you have the 15-inch pasty and a 14-inch. Now you can change this to open everything. So you can adjust the articulations as well. Same thing with cymbals. You can go in and you can choose the different cymbals that are set inside that particular drum set. So same if we were going to the bright room here, we could take a look at the hi-hats. This is also a 15-inch pasty that's set up. They have a 16 also. You can hear the different articulations. And then with snare, so this is a Tama Bell Brass. It's a 6.5 by 14. Now there's a bunch of different options for the snares in general. So you can go down here to the Gresh Bell Brass, the Black Beauty that everybody loves. And again, you could go through articulations. So you can really start to customize your drum set within these particular different sets. Now, one thing that I have done is, because I want many options. The cool thing about acoustic drums is when you go to a studio, and especially for snares, there's a bunch of different options for snares. You know, sometimes there's a couple different kicks you could choose from. Same thing with toms, cymbals. You have options to suit the song that you're working on. So with EZDrummer, Downside is you'd have to purchase some additional packs for things, but I've done that. I've saved up a couple different times and gotten some things. And the one that I really like is the kicks and snares pack that they have, because it gives us so many options, especially for kicks and snares specifically. Now, hats, it gives us some Sabian hats. We can work with that. Cymbals, we got some Sabians there as well. So, I mean, the drum set going into it doesn't sound horrible. And we could even look, we got Slingerland toms and a Ludwig kick. Same thing, we'll get into that in a second because it's the kick and snare pack. So if we listen to just the basic choosing from this one, so again, just another flavor that you can start on. Now, like I said, what I like about the kick and snare pack is, and you know, the TuneTracks isn't sponsoring this. This is just something that I've actually purchased myself, and I use a ton because I want the options. So if I were to grab the snare here, we can take a look. It sets it up to the Lead Elite Professional, but look at all of these options for snare drums now. So it's like we're in a crazy studio that has a ton of different snares laying around that you can pick whatever you want to your heart's content, pretty much. And a lot of them sound really good. Now, there's some that I don't know if I would ever particularly, I don't know if I'd use a lot of these, but it's cool to have the option for it. Now, I love Black Beauties. That's a given. I like Gresh drums as well, so the US Custom. Oh, hold on. Those are without snares. Where do we... they're in here somewhere. Where are they with the snares? And that's the beauty. They give you a lot of stuff with snares, without snares. Different types of the drum, depending on what you're... or different voicings of the same drum, depending on what you're trying to accomplish here. But, I thought they had a Gresh in here with snares, unless I'm just scrolling too fast. But this actually brings up a good point. You can start to build your own drum set using any of the packs that you have inside of EZDrummer also. So say we wanted a Gresh snare, but we wanted to keep in here with just a 3 toms kick snare. We want to keep this type of setup. So what we can do is you have your snare selected. Up here where it says kicks and snares, we can click that. Now we can choose any drum set package that we want. So we were in, the Bright Room, I believe, has Gresh. So if we wanted the Gresh Bell Brass, we're in the Bright Room now, and we can save, or load rather, that snare into this kit now. So we have now the Gresh Bell Brass. So now it's starting to come to life a little bit with the different options that we're choosing. Now, the Slingerland toms, I actually really like the Slingerland toms, so I kind of, if I'm going this type of route, I kind of tend to keep with those. But with the hi-hats, this has a bunch of different voicings for the 16-inch Sabians, but if you don't like Sabian cymbals, or if you don't like Sabian hi-hats, you could come in here. Let's click on Alt Rock. If you like Meinl cymbals and hats, you can go to the Meinl hats. Have a little bit different of a tone there for things. Let's find where the hats are playing. So you can start to customize everything out, especially, I mean, you get into the kicks, it's the same thing as the snares. There's so many kick drums to choose from. And a lot of the times, I mean, it sets it to the Ludwig 1970s, which is great. The Yamaha 24-inch recording custom is great if you want that really low-end punch. It really delivers there. Even if you get into, where is it at here? I like Yamaha drums and I like Ludwig kicks as well. So the Versalite, it gives it a lot different of a character for everything, but you start to put it in the mix and it sounds great. So you can start to build this out. Now, say you go through and you build out everything that you want. You go through meticulously each one, coming in here, going through any different pack that you may have. If you've only have the base packs, you have the bright main and tight room, that's perfect. You can still go through here and choose what you'd want. So you have everything set up. It's customized to what you would want your house kit to be. Now let's save that so we can always bring it back. So what we want to do here is on this section here. So we have what drum set pack we have chosen. This side, we have the different presets for things. Well, you can go in here to user presets and you can save as, and we're just going to call this one test drums. So now it's saved. Now I also have my floodwater drums that I have saved in here. And it's not a whole lot different from everything. So let's listen to what I like to have saved as my floodwater kind of house drums as a starting point. I personally like a little bit washier of a cymbal. So if we take a look, these are the Meinl cymbals, which are darker, more of a wash for everything. I like that, but I like my ride cymbals to be pretty piercing. I want them, not piercing in a bad way, but I want them to stick out, and I want them to be easily heard when I go into a ride section. So I want the crash cymbals to wash the kit a little bit while we're still getting that sharpness of the ride cymbal itself. So that's what I personally like. Like I said, as a starting point, this is what I like to do. Now you can get crazy into this if you don't have an electric drum set, which we have an Alesis Nitro mesh kit, and I do have the expansion pack for it. So I have 4 tom pads, 3 cymbal pads, hi-hat, snare, kick. So I can start to utilize more drums to a degree, and I think one of the tom pads has a second zone for the rim too, so I've used that really a lot of times for the ride cymbal here, because my ride isn't a dual zone ride. It's a cheap kit. So it's a single zone ride, but with that tom, I'll set the second zone on the rim to the bell. So if I wanted to go into a bell part, I have that option off on the far tom there as well. So we can get into tons of things, especially getting into grooves. So like I said, if you don't have a drum set, an electric kit that you can play drums, or you don't have anybody that you know that has electric kit where you can play, you can go in here. I mean, you can start really trying to find exactly what you're looking for. So we can get rid of those drums here. Say we're looking for a country song and we're playing it standard, but we want it to swing a little bit and we're playing in 3/4. You can get really meticulous in what you're looking for here, and then you can just go in and listen to what it chooses, kind of the higher not higher priorities, but the higher match rates that you're going for. So if you like that beat, a couple different options you could do. One thing, you can always just drag it and drop it here. So put this right into the edit window. So it's right there. Another thing you can do, which I've done a couple different times, depending on if I'm just setting up an idea for a song, I'll find a groove and I drop it right in here. So usually it's at the beginning. We'll just put it right here. Excuse me. So I put it in here, and then I can start building things out here as well in the editor of EZDrummer. So now, if I just kind of go crazy here, and let's just say we want, I don't even know what this is going to sound like, but we're having fun here. So you've built out this drum piece that you want. You can actually take everything, highlight that now, and then drag that whole section in. So you're not piecing bit by bit here, you're kind of piecing everything together inside EZDrummer and then dropping it in. And then the same thing, now that we have it in here, it's literally just MIDI files. So you don't want that one. We want to go to a pop punk kick if you have it. You can start customizing them as well too. So like I said, I personally have my preset that I start with. So this is kind of like the baseline for things, and then I start to adjust from there. It's kind of like when you're setting your guitar tones. You have your baseline, and then you kind of start adjusting and tweaking from there. Now, one thing that EZDrummer 3 has also put in here, which is kind of cool, is the bandmate. Now, the bandmate is, I kind of liken it to how in Logic, in the drummer there, it kind of follows the song itself, so you can have it follow the kick, or have it follow the bass, or have it follow the electric or the vocal, whatever track you want to set it to follow. So let's go over to the Browse tab here, and let's go to the pull. I believe these are the acoustics that I just recorded in the Nashville tuning video here. Now, those were recorded at 135, so let's just change this to 135 so we don't get any weird timing effects with something. Pull those down a little. So okay, so if we grab this audio file inside EZDrummer on bandmate, we can drag this, drop it in. It will prepare the track. Now this, we're 135. We're going to keep this at 4/4 this time. I was just picking something random previously. And now it's going to choose something that we may want to go along with this song here. So we'll cut that. So it takes liberties at first, but we can start to adjust things here. So you can bring the hat slider down, and as you can see, it will change how much of that is actually playing. So let's bring it up one, get a little variation. Snare, same thing. Let's add some snare to it. Kick, we don't need a whole lot. Let's just get it 4 on the floor, a little bit here, and So obviously it's not going to give you full parts, but you can start to have some fun with this, especially for writing and practicing, just trying to get a feel for what you're looking for. But these are honestly, we touched on the mixer and how to, separate things out before. You have your grid editor where you can start to actually write out your own drum parts here. And we may do a video on that too. Let me know if you guys would be interested in that down in the comments section. But yeah, you can start. Well, that didn't work out how I wanted. But you can start writing your own MIDI parts in a couple different ways also. So again, let me know in the comments if you want to see something like that. We can hop into that. I used to program a lot of drums back in the day. So what do you guys think about that? I know that EZDrummer is not necessarily taboo because in a home studio, a lot of times you don't have acoustic drums to record. So this is a great alternate for what you can start to produce in your own songs. Let me know what you guys think about this down in the comments section. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Jonathan Allen at Floodwater Studios. Again, if you want our free home studio equipment guide, head to floodwaterstudios.com/home studio. We'll catch you on the next one. Go record something. See ya.